Looking for a guaranteed way to create content that resonates with your audience? Start a podcast. Interview your ideal clients and let them choose the topic of the interview. Because if your ideal clients care about the topic, there's a good chance the rest of your audience will care about it too. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm Jonathan Green.
And I'm James Carberry.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Bob Stolzberg. He is the founder and chief innovation officer at VoiceXP. Bob, how are you doing today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on the show, James.
I am so excited to chat with you, man. We were just talking offline. We're talking about Alexa marketing today. We talked with someone, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about voice technology, but this is a completely different talk. So, Bob, tell our listeners, you are the guy to be talking about this. Tell us what VoiceXP is doing and really just kind of dive into what your company is all about.
Sure. We believe that this voice technology is the most disruptive force that's going to change everything over the next couple of years. And we're fortunate to be pioneers in the space. And we're described as the most innovative company because what we're doing is rolling out things like Alexa marketing campaigns in a box for CenturyLink. We program television screenplays for TV shows. We've got platinum artists like Chingy who roll out skills to make it easier for their fans to get content. And we work with other companies like Arizona State University, and Banner Health to, basically let their customers, their audience, their prospects engage with the brand just using their voice. Why it's so important, it's just easier to ask to get knowledge on demand than look at a screen and type with your hands to get something.
Yeah, I love that. Bob, you mentioned that voice is kind of the next wave, and you have come along, you've built a company solely focused on it. Is it just the fact that it saves time and that, people don't have to type, they can start searching with their voice? Like, is the time arbitrage of it the reason that you think it is going to be the next thing?
It's just easier to ask to do something. Our voice is the most natural user interface that's been around. The way that we talk and the way our brain processes words is at a much faster rate than the way that we read and type. So it's easier to ask for things. And the technology is so complex that it's now simple enough to be able to, place orders for things using your voice or get information. And the way these platforms are moving is that, you're just going to be in your car. It's built into your TV, on your tablets, on these devices. It's going to be in every room in your house, not just to turn on your lights and get, your news and stuff, but to interact with your work and your brands as well.
Yeah.
Be everywhere.
So I want to do a deep dive into one of your customers, Bob, and specifically CenturyLink, and how they're leveraging an Alexa skill really in their ABM effort. As you were explaining it to me offline, I thought it was fascinating. So walk us through what CenturyLink is doing. And if you could even share an example, you were showing me offline, but if you could share that example, I think it would really help folks get their head around how they could use an Alexa skill with ABM.
Yeah, CenturyLink is such an interesting use case because they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're going through digital transformation themselves. They actually practice innovation by adopting this new technology. And where we saw the opportunity, and we're fortunate enough to work with them, is in a sales and marketing capacity. They see value in putting an Alexa device in consumers' homes, working and putting it into their employees and their prospects' offices. And what they've done is really pioneering in that they created an Alexa skill with VoiceXP. It's packed with product and service information. And what they'll do is, we created this thing called an Alexa marketing campaign in a box. CenturyLink basically has this great package of a box that's all branded, and you open it up and it's an experience with a device inside and a card that says, hey, ask these questions once you get this really great Echo Show plugged in. and it will start their software, and it tells that prospect or that customer about the products and services that they have to offer. And so it's been a phenomenal door opener that's helped sales conversions and helped their sales reps differentiate. From a marketer's math standpoint, let's pretend for round numbers sake, this is the type of a campaign that might cost you $50,000. Mm-hmm. You might send out 1,000 of these devices at $30 a pop, plus pay a company like VoiceXP another 20 to deliver and maintain that Alexa skill with your product and service info. So you spent $50 to send it out to 1,000 people in hopes to get 10% of meetings, that's 100 people, and then 10% of those close. And if your average deal size, if you're lucky enough, let's just say it's $25,000 a month for some brands, right? You spent $50,000 to make $250K a month, and in a new, innovative way. Yeah. And so sales is taking these devices with them to replace the PowerPoint. Brands are putting their message and their marketing materials out there because this is a new engagement channel. Yeah. This is part of an omni strategy because just like you saw people having websites, then getting into mobile apps and then the social media space, well, what are you going to do when 20% of households in the U.S. have an Alexa device this Christmas? Yeah. And statistics from analysts say that 55% of U.S. households, 55% are going to have these voice personal assistants by 2022. So you got 5 years, all these brands, to set up shop. Yeah. And it's just like the web in the early days where you got to get presence, then you have to build in some engagement, and then you have to have integration, and then it's part of your omni-channel strategy. So voice is just the new thing. It's not the next, it's the now.
Love it. I love it. And so, Bob, could you walk us through some of the things that CenturyLink skill can do?
Absolutely. For starters, it tells them, it's got great welcome messages, tells them about the company, what's the vision, what's the mission. You can ask about products and services, and I'll give you a list. And this is written in a way that it's an engaging experience. All you marketers know you want to keep people on your website, go to different pages, get them to use it for as long as possible. That's what VoiceXP does, is work with our customers to take that marketing content, put great calls to action, like sign up for a free trial, or can I have somebody call you, or leading conversation pieces like, hey, to learn about this, you can say, tell me about that. And you build in a rich content and experience. And what CenturyLink has also done is they've worked with some of their partners like VMware and Dynatrace and others to build in their content. So it can act as a revenue stream where they're able to monetize it with their partners so that a customer or prospect can get information about both solutions and providers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And another thing that you were showing me offline, I mean, you can even do like fun things with it. So telling them about products and services, but then you said something
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Here, the audience listening, this is what's possible. This is called a one-shot mode. So I can just ask their skill something. I could say, tell me about your products, like cloud, but here, let's listen to a joke.
Okay.
Ask CenturyLink for a joke.
Why is a high-speed internet connection healthier than a regular one? Because it's high in fiber. You can ask me such things as our mission or what we do for business. What would you like to do?
Goodbye. Pretty cool.
I love that. And so when CenturyLink is packaging these up and they're sending them to decision makers at their target accounts, does it come alongside, I would imagine some sort of piece that that gives them an idea of what all they can ask?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Alexa is another touch point in your marketing campaigns and your sales prospecting strategy. And it's got a card in there that's got the 10 questions to ask because they're trying to guide them through an experience.
Yeah.
And by the way, marketers, we've got rich analytics and metrics on the back end of this stuff so that we can tell you how many people, how long they spent, what are they asking, even down to the ABM, who is asking this stuff. And then we feed that into a sales rep, right? Let me give you another quick example of how you can get product and service info and then give, some information and have a salesperson reach out. Alexa, start Tesla.
Welcome back to Tesla. I can give you contact info for a store near you or schedule a test drive. How may I help you?
Tell me about the Roadster.
Roadster is the quickest car in the world, with record-setting acceleration,
Everybody
range,
wants
and
one.
performance.
Alexa, schedule a test drive.
What date do you want to schedule?
Tomorrow,
What time do you want to schedule?
9 a.m.
What is your name?
Bob
What's your last name?
Stolzberg,
What's your phone number?
314-397-2610.
So, you want to schedule a test drive on December 14th, 2017 at 9 o'clock for the Roadster. Your name is Bob Stolzberg and you can be contacted at 314-397-2610. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you for scheduling your Tesla test drive.
Goodbye.
That's
Thank
incredible.
Hope to see you soon in your very own Tesla.
That is how we are going to interact with our brands and our sales in the future.
No, I love it. And so you mentioned to me that channel partners, folks are on the partner sales team are using this. Direct sales teams are using this. They're using this at trade shows to create experiences at the booth. So many use cases for doing something like this.
And it adds value. I was at the reInvent, Amazon's 50,000 person trade show in Vegas 2 weeks ago. CenturyLink had a premier sponsor booth and they put an Echo Show that ran their skill, which is optimized to have multimodal visual and voice experiences. And it was a moth to a flame. They brought in foot traffic and the people that worked the booth said, this was a great experience. People didn't know that we did things like this. It showed our innovation and differentiated us. And it just made it easier to have a conversation because, we're not just trying to look at a tear sheet. We're asking questions and engaging. So having your own Alexa skill gives you added ROI if you incorporate it in your trade shows and booths. Yeah. And also it's another tool in your sales team's bag to make an impact and differentiate.
Yeah. I think from a differentiation standpoint, I think it's huge. And now is the time to jump on it before, all of your competitors are doing it as well. I really appreciate you sharing this with us, Bob. This has been incredible for me. I wouldn't have even thought about using an Alexa skill from an ABM perspective, but that's absolutely genius. If somebody listening to this, they want to stay connected with you, Bob, or they want to learn more about VoiceXP, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
It's so simple. Team, just email sales@voicexp.com. We're so proud to be the pioneers of this. We're the ones that exclusively offer this. We've done this for many large enterprise customers and brands, and we'd love to help your audience adopt voice, navigate this gauntlet, and share our best practices and experience of doing this over the past year. We are not a branding and marketing company. We are a software company that is focused on voice, and we work with our customers to implement their visions and execute this stuff quickly.
I love it.
So to roll out something like CenturyLink has does not take long, and it's immediate ROI. Just email sales@voicexp.com. We would love to help you.
I love it. Awesome, Bob. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Again, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Thank you, James.
If you've been getting value from this podcast, you can help us reach more people by reviewing the show on iTunes. Here's how you can leave a review in less than a minute. Open your podcast app and tap the search icon in the bottom right corner. Type in B2B Growth, then select our show. Once you're there, tap the Reviews tab and tell us what you think of the show. These reviews help us out a ton.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.